you're very conscious of everything going on around, this is an issue I have when I see like cruelty to animals or to people or children. So if you're very aware, then you're going to be even more aware of what's going on. So how do you handle that?
Acceptance. You see, you do see the cruelty, you do see the suffering in people because you are aware. People can't hide it from you anymore. You see the subtle hints when someone's suffering and pretending not to. And so you do see it. But acceptance, this is the world we live in. And if we can't accept it, that doesn't work for us because that creates suffering in us. And if we're suffering, if we're in resistance ourselves, how can we actually really be there for other people? See, my whole life is about helping others. For me to be able to do that, I have to be open, and I can't get caught in my own story, the story of Vishrant suffering. Can't do that. Because that would mean being in the picture too much Vishrant in the picture. If I really want to help someone, I've got to put Vishrant out of the story altogether so I can just be an instrument to help that person. And so the key is acceptance. This is the world. This is how it is. And if we want to look, we'll always find suffering. We'll always find that there's brutality happening to innocence. It's the way it is. It's the world we live in. And it's not going to change because of us. We can help a few people, maybe. That's it. That's it. And so I'm very, very sensitive. I actually feel people's pain. But it's okay. It's just pain. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know if that answers your question.
Thank you.
Okay. I remember when I was working as a psychotherapist, worked for 10 years as a psychotherapist, and I used a Freudian setup where the client would lay on a couch and I'd sit just behind them to the left side and talk to them, usually using regressive therapies combined with hypnosis. And they'd be going through their pain, looking at their wounding and starting to feel stuff that they'd been blocked off from for years. And the stories would start to trigger my own stuff. And fortunately, I was sitting behind where they couldn't see me, but I had tears streaming down my face because as they were going through their healing process, somehow it was triggering my own healing process. And it's wonderful that we can actually do that. So if you haven't healed your own wounds and you're involved with other people who are suffering, there's a chance it's triggering your own stuff as well. And that's how it is.
If I'm with someone who is like in pain or suffering, how would I know if that I'm just feeling compassion for the person or if I'm feeling if my own wounding is feeling?
So what I did was I removed the personal. When I'd go to my clinic, the moment I touched the handle of the door that I was going in, I left Vishrant at the door. I left the personal at the door. The person that walked in was simply there for whoever was on the other side. And so things might come up during a session, but it didn't really matter because I was still there 100% for that person. I didn't go into the story of Vishrant because I wasn't being paid to do that. I was being paid to be there for that other person. It's just that sometimes what they were talking about triggered wounding in me that hadn't been healed yet. The moment we move into the personal and we start entertaining our own story, in a way we're lost. And if you're dealing with other people who are coming to you because they're lost, because they're suffering and they're trying to work it out, it doesn't help for you to be lost as well. It's best if you can stay impersonal with it all and just be there as an instrument to help them through what they need to get through. And so by removing the personal, we can see the difference. We can see the differences. Once we go into our own story, in a lot of ways we've gone into a dream world and we're lost. And so I don't tend to entertain story, full stop. I love the moment. I love the freshness of it. I love the pristineness of it. I love the clarity of being here. The moment you move into the mind, you're losing clarity immediately. And if you're going into resistance inside your own mind, you're creating a cloud of energy that destroys clarity. So you're lost, you're lost, you're lost.